DownHome Sports, covering all the sports in Ellis County. Brought to you by Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Located off of 287 in Midlothian, Texas. And Dough City Pizza and Burgers, for artisan burgers, pizzas, and ice cream. Make sure you go where it's delicious to Dough City Pizza and Burgers, located in Red Oak, right across from the high school.
And Elite Foot and Body Therapeutic Massage and Assisted Stretching in Midlothian, Texas. When you need to recoup after a hard day of playing, make sure you reach out to Elite Foot and Body.
We see the future in her. And as she grows, bonds are bigger. Lessons are learned. We plan for her future with those we trust. So when the day comes and she's ready to soar, she'll do it knowing there's always someone there. Pinnacle Bank, not just a bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
We would like to welcome in Waxahachie Life or Life Waxahachie. I've heard it said both ways. We've got the track team here, and we've got a couple area qualifiers. Coach Linscomb, thank you for joining us. We've got Bre'Anna, Lacy, we've got Jordynn West, and we've got Tedrick Robinson. Thank y'all so much for taking time out of your evenings to jump on here with me. It means a lot, and hopefully we won't make this too hard. So, Coach Linscomb, we'll start with you. I've got to know, I've asked this to a couple different track coaches that we've had on. The answers actually vary, but when you're in charge of running something that has 14 events, that it could have up to 14 events or more, how difficult is it? Is it imperative that you trust and have faith in your assistant coaching to have good assistant coaching? What's it like trying to go from event to event? Are you spending practices? Maybe you're splitting up your week to hit different spots. What's it like trying to deal with so many athletes, so many different events?
I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. You gotta trust your assistant coaches and those other guys that work at events, and because one or two people try to do it all. I mean, it's impossible, certainly to do it all at a high level. And so, we've been real fortunate to have good assistant coaches that I can trust, that we can trust to handle their events. So it's stressful at times, certainly, because you want to have your hand in things, but that's impossible. So it does take good assistant coaches and, a lot of faith and patience. And yeah, I mean, you're exactly right as far as splitting up practice, so I, along with being the head coach, I coach the long jumpers and the triple jumpers, and this year have had to take over the sprints and relays as well. So, trying to juggle all that, it's a challenge. So you do have to split it up. You have to say, okay, make, dedicated effort. Today we're doing this. Today we're doing that, and plans change. Today was a good example. I plan to work with my long and triple jumpers after school, but, things happened and I had to work relays after school. So I said, okay, we'll jump a little bit tomorrow. And you just have to be flexible.
Awesome. Well, Jordynn, I want to come to you, the freshman of the group, and it seems like the one that likes to run in circles around the track more than anybody else. District champ in 800, 1600, and 3200. I applaud you for the amount of running that you actually do. So I want to ask, though, because most of your long-distance runners compete in cross-country. Are you a cross-country girl as well?
Yes.
Okay. I want to know, because you're usually out in the field or you're out somewhere else. You're not running on a track for cross-country. talk about how cross country helps, especially when we move over to track. And are there some differences that maybe when you're out and you're running these specialized events that make it different, even though it's still a long distance, that makes it different than just going out and running cross country?
Like the hills and grass helps, like, because the track is just flat and smooth. So when you get used to running on the grass and all the holes and stuff, when you get on the track, you can feel faster.
Well, let me ask, because if you've got to run multiple events at a track meet and you are doing long distance, is it difficult sometimes when you are, let's say you do the 3,200 or you got to run the 1,600 next, or you got to do the 800, and you'll have to apologize if I don't know the order of the events. But when you're going from one event to the other, is it a little taxing when you got to stop and take that break and then go right back into the mentality of competing?
Yes, it is sometimes, but for the most part, it's just like mental. I'm kind of used to it, but sometimes you don't always want to do it, but you just have to check in.
So you're just mentally tougher than everybody else is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Coach, is that about right, Coach?
She's pretty mentally tough. I mean, it does. It takes a toll. I mean, I'm marveled by our distance runners because I'm like, that just is. It doesn't make any sense to me to like to go run that far.
I don't get it either.
Nah, she does a great job, and she has to be. The mental aspect is a huge aspect of it, for sure.
Well, Bre'Anna, I want to come over to you. We've got the hurdle jumper. Now, you competed in long and triple jump as well, qualifying an area in those. And then you'll also be in the 4x2, correct, Coach? She'll be in the 4x2 for area as well.
Yeah.
But number 3 in the region in 100-meter hurdles and number 2 in the 300. I want to know when you're having to go full speed and also clear those hurdles. I mean, how difficult is that? How much practice goes into it as well? Is it just constantly jumping hurdles? Or are there certain drills you can do, like you're working coming out of the block? Maybe you're just doing, a couple hurdles at a time. But how difficult is it? You're going full speed to clear all those hurdles, because I can tell you what, I'm tripping over every single one of them.
Well, it's pretty hard to learn at first, but once you get down to it and you learn your steps and everything, it kind of just becomes natural, and you can just go over the hurdles and work on becoming fast in between the hurdles and things like that. And for the 300 hurdles is actually a little bit easier because you can switch legs and it's not as precise steps. But yeah, it's definitely difficult for some who, trying to go over the hurdles and going that fast.
Now, do you like the 300 more than the 100?
It's kind of, I kind of like both. There's good things and bad things to both of them. For the 300-meter hurdles, I feel like you can showcase more of your speed, and the 100 hurdles, it's more about technique. And since I feel like I've gotten faster from last year, currently probably the 300 hurdles, even though it's a lot longer race.
Well, awesome. Well, Tedrick, coming over to you. You run the hurdles as well, and I gotta say, both of y'all, I applaud you. But when you're talking about the hurdles, and you're competing in the 4x1 as well, y'all are ranked number 2 in the region. You're actually state ranked in the 100 hurdles and 300 hurdles. Talk about though the mental preparation that goes into it, not just physical getting over the hurdles, but when you see it, let's say you nick one or you get out of the box maybe a step behind, but the mental strength that it takes, that you just keep pushing forward, trying to just ignore the other people beside you but get to that finish line first.
Well, I've hit plenty of hurdles and slipped out the blocks plenty of times, but it just comes down to believing in yourself and trusting your training. And I practice a lot, so whenever I feel any sort of doubt, I just remember what I did to practice and just go out there and try to do it with no fear. And then as far as far as like people next to me, I just focus on my lane, because the second I peek over it, then that's when I mess up my race and then end up on the ground. So yeah.
Well, what's it like when you get down in the blocks and you're getting ready to step up and you got people in the stands hollering, you know you're going to the area meet, it's a big meet. What's it like when you get down there? What's the butterflies like? What's going through your head?
Well, I've actually had to practice breathing techniques when I get in the blocks to calm myself down so I can focus on the actual race at hand. So, I get down and I take 2 deep breaths when he says, when he says to your mark, and when he says set, I hold my breath. And when the gun blows, I just let it all out and get to running.
Well, Coach Linscomb, when you're talking about getting into area and getting later on down the road too, you're dealing with the best of the best. And I want to know, as someone, you said you're dealing kind of with the sprinters and the jumpers and stuff. Are you listening for that gun on go? Is there a little guess to it? I mean, you don't want to start early, obviously, but when you're talking about when you need milliseconds to get a win, is it more you're listening for that gun go, or is it kind of in your mind, instinct of we're trying to make I don't want to say guess isn't the right word, but just get the best jump we can?
Yeah, it's a balancing act. I mean, the worst thing about track and field to me is that second and a half between set and bang, because, no matter how good you are, if you're early there, your season or that event is over. It's not like in basketball where you can commit 5 fouls before your game's over. You jump once and your race is over. So it's nerve-wracking. You ask Teeter what goes through your mind when you get down in the blocks. As a coach, what goes through my mind is don't jump. I mean, and it's just – and it's almost jinx-worthy to say that, but it's – because, you got 1.5 seconds. That's kind of the given time. And, it seems like forever. I'm sure that if, you ask these guys, especially Bree and Teeter, who are down in the blocks and they've got to deal with that 1.5 seconds takes forever, And so my advice, to them is just be steady and then just react. We can't leave early. Hopefully our speed, if we don't get the best jump, it's maybe somebody else, hopefully our speed will make up for it, but don't be early.
Well, Jordynn, talk about your experience, your first year in high school. You're qualified for area, doing a fantastic job. But talk about your experience as a freshman, getting to compete with all these upperclassmen, getting to compete against upperclassmen who have been doing this for 4 years, and coming out on top in the district meet. Just talk about the experience and getting to work with these older ladies.
So working with older people, like pushing yourself more, because it could be seniors or anybody who's been doing it longer than you. So it kind of helps with your mental part too. But like making it to area as a freshman is like exciting and special for me, because I've never done anything like this. And a lot of people, like a lot of freshmen, may not get this opportunity, so I'm grateful for it.
Well, Bre'Anna, talk about the team chemistry over there on Waxahachie Live and getting to bond together. Last year, because of everything that happened, a lot of seasons cut short, and then you get to get out here and compete this spring. Talk about the team chemistry over. Like you're a junior this year, and so when everything got canceled last year, you pretty much almost lose your sophomore year. But talk about now that you're a junior, you're an upperclassman, getting to compete and then building that bonds with your teammates.
Yeah. So last year, we had a lot of seniors that graduated, and I came onto the team as a freshman at Waxahachie, and watching them and seeing how they were able to lead us and to become better and better and learn how to compete with one another. And so now, like being a junior, I feel like I got to spend time learning from them so I can use the knowledge they gave me to help the underclassmen that are incoming now and learn how to build relationships with those because, they're not underclassmen. They're not always out and open and being in that position once before. I can help them feel more comfortable and give them advice to how to compete against all of these upperclassmen.
Awesome. Well, Tedrick, I want to ask, since track and field, while there are PRs, you're shooting for your personal records, you're trying to do the best to win yourself, it's still you're accumulating points for your team. Talk about the balancing act between wanting to go out there and set your PR for yourself. And then also at the same time, when you're dealing with relays and stuff too, where you're in a multi-person event, we are also trying to do our best for our team. How do you set those boundaries in your mind that while you want to do the best you can, you're also a part of a team sport?
Well, I just take the approach that if I execute, what I'm supposed to do, then while running to win, then, if the time comes, the time comes. But, that's one of the main focuses. But I also just want to win. Because, when it comes down to state, whoever crosses the finish line, no matter the time, is a state champion. So that's just the approach that I have taken into this season. So
awesome. Well, Coach Linscomb, I'm gonna give you a chance. You've brought on three amazing young athletes on and off the track. Give a little background on these three and just the kind of attitudes you have. Because, I mean, you can tell talking to them, three great individuals, but you get to deal with them on a day in and day out basis. Talk about what they've meant to the program and what they've meant to you.
You're trying to get me choked up on this thing. I love these guys, and God blessed me and my wife with three boys. So I've never had daughters. And, with these girls, I always tell them that, they're the daughters that I was blessed with. And I hope that they hear that and they hear my heart in that. And I think for the most part they do. When Bree came as a freshman, we didn't really know, what she was going to have. She was she was awkward. She long legs and I mean just beanpole skinny. But you know what? From day one, you could see the work ethic, and she ended up running varsity as a freshman. She ended up going to regionals as a freshman. Really kind of out of nowhere. I say out of nowhere. I mean, the coaching staff saw that potential, and she has just blossomed into our leader. And I look to her. If there are some things that a male coach can't say to a female athlete, and so I'm saying, hey, I need you to handle these things. And Bree's the one that does that, and she's got the respect of the other girls to be able to do that. And so, she's an amazing kid, whether we're on the track or off. Tedrick, my goodness, I don't know where to start with him. I mean, he's, again, came as a freshman. He was slow. But I'll tell you what, man, all of these kids, the one thing that they have in common is that they work their tails off. And Tedrick's a kid that'll go through our workout, leave, and go to another 2-hour hurdle workout. Or, on days when we work out later in the afternoon, he'll go to a workout before and he'll come, to ours after. And I'm like, you're going to burn yourself out. What are we doing? But he just keeps rolling. And, this year we got to a point to where I was pretty confident on 3 of my 4x1 legs. I didn't know who the last one was going to be. And something I said, you know what? Let's just see. Let's see what Teeter has. And I mean, he's been just phenomenal, you know, and he got there again because of how hard he works. You know, he's grown up a lot. He was from a kind of a quiet, unassuming young man, you know, a couple of years ago, and a little more vocal now. You know, he's not boisterous. You know, I don't think any of these kids really that, but you know, his confidence has grown tremendously, and it shows. And then, you know, Joe is just, you know, she's just a little rock star. I mean, she came to us this summer. I met her and her dad, and she doesn't say anything. You know, what you've heard her say today is more than she's probably said since the season started in January. But again, you can look at her videos on Instagram or these other things that these kids use, and you can see the work that she puts in, you know, and it's unbelievable. And she, you know, I've got to spend quite a bit of time talking with her dad and some of her outside training regimen. And I mean, it's incredible. And they go to work. I mean, if I can't say anything else about them, you know, I say I love them, and they go to work, and they come to work every day, and they put everything that they have into it, and it makes them successful, and it makes our team successful.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to come to Tedrick, Jordynn, and Bre'Anna, ask all three the same question. And so I'll start with you, Jordynn. Coach kind of gave his kind words in description of you guys. But now's your chance. I want to know what Coach Linscomb has meant to y'all. Jordynn, you're only a freshman. It's been a short career. Tedrick, Bre'Anna, you've been there a little longer. But Jordynn, we'll start with you. What has Coach Linscomb meant to you in your career there at Life Waxahachie?
Well, he's like a great coach, and when I met him before, like in the summer, you know, I just can tell that he was gonna be a lot of help. You know, he helps a lot with, like, you know, like the pet talks and stuff like that. So I'm really like grateful and thankful for everything that he's done for us.
Awesome. Well, Bre'Anna, what about you?
I would say that Coach Linscomb, he's been there since didn't even talk or say anything, and I would say that he, you know, he has a way of making us feel comfortable on the team, and he like genuinely cares about us and cares about if we succeed or not on the track and off the track. And yeah, I would just say he's been a really good coach to us.
Awesome. Well, Tedrick?
Well, you know, like they said, he's always been there and done everything he can to help us out. You know, I think I don't want to be like cocky, but I think he helps me more in all areas more than anybody else because, you know, I need it a little bit more. But, yeah, I just appreciate all his efforts to, you know, having the best interest in me. And, you know, yeah, just really appreciate everything he's done, you know. And, you know, it's to the relationship where, you know, he just tell me what I need to do and I'll go do it no matter how I feel because, you know, I know he got my back, so I got to have his. So.
Awesome. Well, Tedrick, and I'm not going to say that I truly believe that when he called you slow, you were slow. Because I think I'm the definition of slow. And so we might have different definitions of slow. But, well, guys, I appreciate y'all taking time to join me. Coach Linscomb, real quick before we get you guys out of here, you've got that area meet, hosting it on Wednesday. If you want to get some times and maybe some more specifics so we can get it out there, get some people to come out and check you guys out.
Yeah, sure. Just so well, I thought I had a schedule here. We will start actually Wednesday morning. Our first field event started at 9:45. We'll run Joe's favorite race at 3,200. We'll go off at that's not her favorite race, by the way. We'll run at 10:30, one of those right in there. And then we'll kick off the running portion that everybody gets excited for right around 4 o'clock with the 4x1. We'll have some pre-running festivities. We're going to award all of our medals and stuff from the 3,200 and the field events right before that, and have a national anthem. The 4x1, the gun will shoot 4 o'clock, and we'd love to have, many folks out here that would like to come out.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate y'all taking time to come on and talk to me. I know y'all got busy schedules, but we wish y'all the best of luck at area on Wednesday. And then hopefully we'll be seeing you three at regionals, and then even down the road at state. We want to see some podiums out of you guys, and I think y'all can do it. And so we appreciate you taking time, coming on. Anything we can do for you, let us know. But let's see if we can have y'all on in a few weeks talking about some championships. What do y'all say?
I like the plan.
All right. Well, y'all have a good evening, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right.
Are you hungry for the best burgers, fries, and pizza in Ellis County? Well, stop by Doe City Pizza and Burgers, where the ingredients are fresh every day and stacked up just the way you like them. Custom seasoned fries and burgers right off the grill on in-house, fresh, homemade buns. So head on down to Doe City Pizza and Burgers, where everything there is delicious. Doe City Pizza and Burgers is located in Red Oak, Texas, right across from Red Oak High School. Make sure you come down and have the best burgers and service in Ellis County.
So we would like to welcome in the Lady Gladiators softball team, who, by the way, is state ranked and having a heck of a season. We've got Coach Richards. She's in the background. She'll slide in here in a second. But we've also got Emily Janek, Cadence, Hopgood, and Keri Scott. If I botched any of those last names, I apologize. I'm horrible with names. And so, but we thank y'all so much for taking time out of your evening to jump on and talk with me. And so, Coach, I'll start with you.
Yes.
If Max Preps is correct, which is what I went off of, 24-1, 8-0 in district. Seems like you're doing okay.
Yes, sir.
I know when we talked at the beginning of the season, you talked about your goal, your mindset was you're winning the state championships.
Yes, sir.
You're winning district championships, that nothing else is acceptable.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Seems like you're on your way. Talk about how you think the season's gone to where you thought it would be, and what has kind of blown past your expectations.
So our only little hiccup I felt like this year was Venus. That was in our grasp. But
who is a 3A school, by the way?
It is, yes. But that's, we definitely learned and grew as a team from that game. So it ended up being good for us to take that loss. After that, we really have been working on the playoffs and not necessarily district, definitely taking one day at a time, but we're always looking ahead. What can we do to get better when we get to the first round, the second round, the third round, that type of thing. The group has really grown together. I told you that that we might be in that position at the beginning, and I wholeheartedly feel like we're going to continue to climb that ladder and get there.
Awesome. Well, I'm just going to read off some numbers I crunched. So for district, you guys have scored 116 runs and given up 4. Is that pretty close?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay. Overall on the season, you've scored 260. You've allowed just 24. So that either tells me two things. That tells me that your hitting is really, really good and your pitching and defense is pretty good, which means as a team, y'all are doing really good. So Cadence, I'm going to come to you. You're the team catcher. All right. You also have like 10 home runs or something like that, right? So you're feeling pretty good at the plate. So talk about the confidence level this team has when you are scoring runs like you are, and you had a hiccup against Venus, Coach pointed it out, but to bounce back and to just run through the schedule, and you play tough teams. It's not like you're going out against pancakes. To be playing at this high of a level, what's the confidence like for the Gladiators right now?
It's pretty good. I think we stay, focused and not get too ahead of ourselves.
So have you like bat flipped any home runs?
No, sir.
Is that because coach won't let you?
No, I feel like I don't like it.
She's a pretty humble kid, so that's kind of been our motto, is let's keep everything humble and play with heart all the time. So
nice. Well, Emily, you're a pitcher, correct?
Yes, sir.
Talk about when you're out there in the circle and you've got an offense like you guys have that are putting up runs. How much more comfortable does that make you to where you can just fill up the zone, where you can not be afraid to go after hitters because you know that you guys have a lead? How much does that help you knowing that your offense is putting up runs on the board?
Oh yeah, it definitely helps me. It helps me not feel so pressurized. Like I definitely never leave anything down there fat, but it definitely helps me knowing that we're way ahead and that if somebody does score, it's not the end of the world, that we're just going to come back and still get them.
Well, Keri, shortstop, correct?
Yes, sir.
Talk about the glove play that this squad has. It's not just all strikeouts and it's not just all home runs. Talk about how the defense is going for you guys. How comfortable do you guys feel? And like everything else, when you're playing well, when you're hitting, you're swinging, it just adds confidence to every single part of your game. Talk about the defense.
Our defense is pretty good. If there's a hit in the infield, we usually try and keep it in the infield and not let it get past us.
Awesome. Well, Coach.
Hey, Seth, I was going to add something to that. If you look at our strikeouts, our defense doesn't get as much work as I would like for them to. But that's a positive thing on the pitching side. Keri pitches as well, so we let her pitch the other day, and the two of them combined for a no-hitter. So they're a good combination together. But like I said, our defense, we don't get a whole lot of work because our pitchers are doing a really good job at the plate. So,
well, guys, I got to say that ground balls are democratic and strikeouts are very fascist. So we need more ground balls. They may not understand that reference, Coach.
Yeah, probably not.
But Coach, well, I want to ask you. So when you are getting, and like you said, Keri does come in, y'all combine for a no hitter. But when you're getting runs put on the board, maybe it gives you an opportunity to throw some girls that normally. I know in softball, one girl can go for days. It seems like. Mm-hmm. But when you're putting runs up on the board, which gives you opportunities to play some kids and get some girls in the circle to get work, then normally you might not be able to if you're relying on one girl and it's a lot of tight games. Right. Talk about getting other girls experience and how that leads into the future, not just this year, but the future of Gladiator softball.
So since we just completed our first round of district, we've been switching out our pitchers a little bit more. In the next couple of games, you'll see our freshman, Ella Hudson. She's going to come in and start a couple of games and pitch to see how our defense does react to her and things like that. And then we'll be flipping, roles with Emily and Ella, and then Ella and Keri, and then Keri and Emily. It's wonderful to have three pitchers. I don't think I've ever in my time had that. So I'm excited about that. And that's a really good thing going into playoffs and series and things like that. So we were unfortunate one year that we really only had Emily as a pitcher, and she went down in her back. I believe that was her freshman year. Yeah. So that kind of stopped us in our tracks. So I'm excited to see what the two additional pitchers can do as far as, working a series or, coming in a game and helping out, if anything goes wrong. So it's wonderful to be 2A and be three pitchers deep.
Awesome. Well, Emily, I'm going to come over to you. I want to know, with everything that happened last year, got cut short, you missed out on pretty much an entire season, give or take a few games. Has the tone this season been different? Have you felt like it's different since you missed out? Is there is there like an atmosphere where it's, you know, what happened last year, so you're not going to take anything for granted? Had you noticed anything different?
Yes, I definitely have. Like every game, all the girls, they come out ready to play. Like everyone's excited. Everyone's happy to be there because everyone knows that we didn't get that chance last year. And we just kind of want to play for the ones that didn't get their shot last year, that had to graduate and move on. We do it for them. We do it for ourselves because this season could just as easily be cut short just like last season did. So we just play with our full heart's potential.
Well, we are glad it didn't, because that was awful. But Cadence, I'm going to come over to you. I usually have a partner with me. His name's Tater Beard. He couldn't be here this evening, but the question he likes to ask to all the kids we have on here is bus rides are very important, especially with social distancing and everything. That's a time that you get to spend together. You're kind of close. You can mess around. You can joke around, get loose before games, celebrate all these wins. But I want to know, on the bus rides back after a win, who is the girl that is doing the TikToks, that is playing the music, that is making everything a good time on that Gladiator bus ride?
I think that we all usually make it a good time, but usually Kinley's the one that's acting like hype and hyper and playing the music all the time. But I think we all do a good part of joining in and making it fun.
Can we expect Coach on a TikTok anytime soon?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Keri, I want to ask you, and I'll get to all three of you ladies, but I'll start with you. What's it been like this season, and in seasons past, getting to play for Coach Richards? And then the atmosphere at Italy right now with all the winning that's going on, what's it like playing down there in the atmosphere at the ballpark as well?
It's really good. Because I had previously came from Frost, and it wasn't really a good atmosphere. And when I came here just playing under T. Rich, it's been really fun. I like it a lot. And I think that everybody just really feeds off her energy as well, too.
T. Rich, I tell you what, that's a winning coach right
They call
there.
me T. Rich.
That's a winning nickname right there. Well, Emily, what about you? What's it like for playing for T. Rich? I can't say that. I'm not a part of the team. Coach Richards.
It's pretty amazing. She keeps it fun, but she keeps us definitely on our toes. We all know that we have a job to do every single day, and just playing on this field, we take 100% care of it, all by ourselves. After the games, we pick up all around, pick up the flags, rake, everything. And the people that come to our games just support us. And it's just a really good place to play and be.
Now, Emily, since if y'all are taking care of the field, are you the only one, you and Keri, that touches the circle? Because I know in baseball, pitchers are the only ones that touch the mound.
Yeah, I usually rake the mound after every game, or Keri if she pitches. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Cadence, what about you? What's Coach Richards meant to you?
Well, I just moved to this school this year, and the biggest thing to me, honestly, is just how open armed they were. Coach Richards, especially, just she would always be there if I needed to talk, and always make sure I was part of the team. Especially during softball season, she's made it really fun.
Well, Coach Richards, the success that you've seen, the season's not over, so I'm not going to jump too far ahead, but just what you've done so far, what does that lead towards for the future? How does that help establish a culture in Italy that you are wanting to start? Basically, it's just dominance, and you want to keep that going year in and year out. And it depends on the girls, but a season like this, a group like this, it leaves a long-lasting effect. And just can you see that happening? And do you see this girls leaving a good foundation for you guys?
No, definitely. I think I told you a while back that we started a junior high softball group too, and they've, they're stepping in there, taking the traditions and accepting them. They're 2-0 right now too, and they don't have as many games, but they're learning a lot from us. And these girls right now, I've had some wonderful groups in the past, and I've been a part of some wonderful teams, but I really think this group is special. I think that they are going to pave the way for the future. You know, having come from this school, graduating from here, you know, I didn't play softball. And I just think that, like, it means more to me than I can even explain to you, just to make sure that we leave a good legacy. And I don't really even care that my name's tied to it. I just want to make sure that the Italy softball tradition continues for years and years to come. And, you know, my future grandkids, I hope in the future, will play and have a wonderful impact on the program too. I think these girls have really bought into our program, and they talk about some of the great things that we do. They clean up, they take care of the field, they take the trash out, they make sure the restrooms are clean for our fans, they pick up the trash underneath the bleachers. It's more about what am I teaching them when they leave me also, what kind of citizens are they going to be? Are they going to be productive? Are they going to get out there and do wonderful things? I absolutely believe all 17 of them will.
Awesome. And I love to hear that, because I don't want to preach, but I will tell you and the girls, especially what she's talking about, those are things that you will remember more than any game, more than any one singular at bat. Those things right there and the chemistry you have, that's what you'll remember years after. So that's awesome to hear you say that, Coach Richards. Well, Coach Richards, will you kind of give us a rundown of maybe the next couple games, next couple home games that you guys have, so we can get it out there and get some more people to come check out what you got going?
Absolutely. So we have a bye tomorrow. So the coaching staff, we're going out to scout. Some of us are going north, some of us are going south, just to see what we have in line. The girls will practice for about an hour. We play Friday here in Italy against Frost.
Okay.
Frost was 9-0. That we believe that we're better than 9. So we're going to work really hard to increase that 9-0 score. We are having a dedication night. Keri's grandma is fighting lung cancer. So we are dedicating the game to her. So that's going to be a whiteout game is what we're calling it. The week after that, we have 2 away games. We play, help me out, girls, Wortham, and then Dawson, I believe, after that. So, and they're both away. So we're wrapping up the season. We picked up a warm-up game with Maypearl on April 24th, and that's here in Italy as well. I'm in the process of talking to Grandview to pick up another warm-up game if we can work out our schedule. So I'll let you know when that's going to happen.
Awesome. And that whiteout game, is that Friday's game?
Yes, sir. It's Friday. It's Friday.
Okay. Well, Keri, I'm sorry to hear about that, but that is an awesome thing that y'all are putting that on, and we will do whatever we can to get the word out. And we'll get and send somebody down there to shoot that as well. But sorry to hear it, but that's an awesome thing that you guys are doing. So kudos to you for what you're doing. Coach Richards, you got a great program. And so thank y'all for coming on with us. If there's anything else we can do, let us know. But we wish y'all the best of the luck. Keep it rolling. And hopefully we will have you guys on during the playoffs talking about a deep playoff run, maybe one of them state championship Coach is wanting so badly. And so, but thank y'all again, and let us know if you need anything.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
We see the future in her. And as she grows, bonds are bigger. Lessons are learned. We plan for her future with those we trust. So when the day comes and she's ready to soar, she'll do it knowing there's always someone there. Pinnacle Bank, not just a bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
Elite Foot and Body Therapeutic Massage and Assisted Stretching is just what you need for those aches, pains, bumps, and bruises through a hard athletic season. Try their assisted stretching, massage, cupping, and other options to help get your muscles, your most important tool on the field, your body back in shape.
All right, we are welcoming in the Red Oak Hawks baseball team. We got Coach Spurgeon on again with us. We've got Trevor Profrock, and we got Joshua Jontis. Did I pronounce that right, Joshua?
Jontis.
With an H, like Jontis. Yeah, but we appreciate y'all taking time out of your evenings to join us. Coach Spurgeon, we'll start with you. We had y'all on preseason, and you talked about the standard that you guys were looking for. You talked about some of the things coming out of COVID in the fall that y'all are getting ready for, and now you're getting going. And I'm going to say the overall record isn't a reflection of how well this team has started playing. Your district record, you're 4-4 now. I think that's, and you got 2 big wins over Midlothian and over Cleburne, who was state ranked earlier in the year. To go along with this 3-game winning streak. Talk about where you guys are now, because it seems like you're starting to get on a roll as you're getting through this second round of district.
Well, we talked about at the beginning of the year. We didn't start necessarily the way we wanted to. I think all our guys knew that we could be capable, but we weren't to the point that we had it established yet. And I think I talked earlier on the last meeting just about getting these guys' feet wet. Really giving them really their first varsity season, even if they're varsity guys last year. But they've been incredible. They've wholeheartedly bought in. I mean, if I could tell you about the number of things as a team that we've went through as far as adversity or even building each other up, and the amount of sorry, I had someone calling my phone while I'm doing this. The amount of effort that these guys have been putting in daily. Just constantly buying in, not blaming each other when there's plenty of opportunities that we could have, really is, to me, all the credit of us kind of getting on this little roll.
Now, Trevor, you're going to be a big part of that role as you're sitting there rocking a 1.76 ERA through 43 and 2/3 innings pitched. Talk about how you're feeling up there on the mound. It seems like you've got it locked in, and you're facing some great lineups. What feels good right now? What are you relying on as you're up there? What's keeping you sharp and keeping you all in ball games?
That's hard to say, because when we first started, I was struggling a lot. And now I'm feeling on a roll, and I feel like I rely most on my teammates because, they're making great plays for me. And, Josh is my third baseman, and he's been making some amazing plays, been hitting the ball really well. So, I mean, I give all my success to my guys because what's a pitcher without runs, without runs to support them. So I really give all my success to them. And, but that's all I got to say.
Well, Josh, how is it as a defender to know when you've got a guy – that's going up there and through 43 and 2/3 is only giving up 18 walks. So he's throwing strikes, a guy that's giving you a chance on defense to make plays. How much better does it make you as a defender knowing you've got a guy that's working his butt off up there at the mound? And he's not the only one. Smith's having a great year as well, but being able to trust the guys on the mound so that you are able to make those plays get you back in the fun house.
Well, when Trevor's up, so I know he's going to be doing his thing, and whenever I get a play, I know I got to make it for him because I know he's, like you said, thing on the mound. So he just makes me play relax and loose whenever he's, like, composed. And so it's just an easy pitch.
Well, Josh, Trevor made notice of it makes it easier on him when you guys are scoring runs. And it seems like your offense is putting up runs, and it's you especially 353 average. You've driven in 13 RBIs on 18 hits, man. Talk about how you're feeling at the plate. because it looks like you're having a pretty successful season.
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, more confident going throughout the beginning. It was still been like cut off from and then once we got into the season, saw everybody good. It gave me more confidence. Started hitting the ball more, and then once I started talking to my coaches, like what's going on, they're helping me out and seeing everybody affected me on my confidence.
I got to tell you, with that hair, there's no way you can't not hit. And so, well, Coach Spurgeon, talk about the pitching staff as a whole. We talked to Trevor, but one thing, you guys rocking a 3.13 ERA as a team, and that's pretty impressive when we're talking about 5A baseball in the state of Texas. Talk about what you guys have progressed throughout the season and how that pitching staff is helping contribute in a very, very tough district.
For us, we try to drill in the first pitch strike. The difference in batting average for a first pitch strike versus starting 1-0 is incredible. I mean, you're talking about 300, probably close to 400 points difference in the batting average if you can just get that first one over for a strike. So we really try to emphasize that. But ultimately, trusting the defense, not necessarily going for the strikeout, and then being able to have multiple pitches. If you get up there and all you have is a fastball, that's kind of tough. You give 2 pitches, you can kind of be a reliever. But if you have 3 solid pitches, you can be a guy that can go deep for us in ball games. And we've gotten lucky to have that, with our pitchers, guys that can go deep in the ball games for us. And that's by throwing the first pitch strike, because that equals less pitches. And that's by having 3 pitches for us and pitching to contact. We don't have to have 7, 8 pitch at-bats because we're trying to get contact out of the first 3 or 4 pitches of the at-bat.
Well, Trevor, when we're talking about first pitch strikes, I know the majority of the time, especially at that age, if you've got a good fastball that can locate, there's no reason to throw anything else. But how much is it having confidence in those secondary pitches that when you're asked, second, third time through the lineup, hey, we need to start this guy off with a curveball, that you have the confidence or change up, whatever, to go out there and throw that first pitch and throw it for a strike?
Repeat that question one more time for me.
I said, how does it mean to you when you're up on the mound? You get through that lineup the second, third time. Coach talks about you got to work ahead first pitch strike. To being able to throw a secondary pitch, a curveball, a changeup for a strike. That way, it's not just fastballs. Although fastballs can when you locate, can be very, very effective. But being able to locate and have confidence with those secondary pitches early in at bat once you're gone through that lineup 2 or 3 times.
For me, when I start feeling more confident about my secondary pitches is when I'm thrown in the bullpen before the game. And I work through all of them. And what I feel best about, I tell Coach Spurgeon, I'm like, hey, I want to go to this. When, their 4-hole comes up or the 3-hole comes up, like, let's do this and this and that. And for me, it's obviously first pitch strikes, but by that third pitch, I want some type of contact. Now, if that's a strikeout, ground out, pop out, but I want to get to our third pitch and he's at least swinging. So for me, it's the confidence part is just starts in the bullpen, and whatever feels great that day, that's what I'm going to rock with. And, that's all I got to say.
Well, Josh, I know when we were talking with Coach Spurgeon, a couple of guys early in the season, it seemed like Jay had you guys doing some slashing in tournaments, getting your timing down, being aggressive. I was watching some Twitter videos of y'all the other night, and I didn't see a lot of slashing. I saw several doubles, though. And so talk about the progression throughout the season, how you guys have gotten more comfortable and kind of integrating some of those small ball tactics. But now that you're fully enthralled in district play, that you guys are feeling pretty good swinging the bat.
I think with the slash, Coach Johnson was implying, put the ball in play. And so that by slash. So once we got that confidence boosted up, we're all right, let's go back to our regular stuff. We know. And then once that started working, slashing stuff, we're in get our confidence back up, start better and the ball more.
Awesome. Well, Coach Spurgeon, you guys are in the thick of things. I know As it sits, you're at 5th right now, just outside that bubble at 4-4. But you just beat Midlothian, like I said. You beat Cleburne. You got big game against Joshua coming up tomorrow night, and you still got Corsicana. Talk about this district, because you look up and down, all the way even to the bottom. It's tough, and you guys are having to fight every single night you go out there. Talk about how you guys have responded and stepped up to the challenge for the teams that you've playing in this difficult district.
Well, first, I think even Josh was a part of this conversation earlier. I think I was talking to him. We have 6 teams that probably are going to deserve to go to playoffs. Like, there's going to be 2 teams sitting at home that you could argue could make a few rounds deep in the playoffs. And so that part – that can be frustrating, because you never know if you might be the team with how thick it is here. We have so many teams within 1 game, 2 games of first place. But the talent level of this district, I've also talked to these guys. It's like, you win one and you think, okay, now you kind of breathe. Nope, we got another one right behind them. And Joshua is just as good as any of them. When they're playing their best game, they can hit as good, they can pitch as good. They have a good catcher there. They're solid. So it's just really about, I think what's been so successful is these guys haven't got too – we talk about it a lot, not getting too high, not getting too low. And it could have very easily – going 0-4, we could have got too low. And I think, we beat Corsicana. They were a number 1 team. Then we beat Cleburne, who you could argue could be maybe a number 1 team talent. And then we beat Midlothian, that we usually, Red Oak, historically, last 10 years or so, struggle against. And we keep, there's another team, and I think the ability of not being too high when we beat Corsicana, not being too high when we beat Cleburne, and hopefully not being too high, after beating Midlothian will give us that opportunity of just kind of sustaining where we're at and not being too, or I guess rather being a little bit more humble about where we're at and just attacking the game the right way.
Well, Trevor, talk about this coaching staff, Coach Johnson, Coach Spurgeon, and what they've meant to this program and the kind of atmosphere that they are cultivating there at Red Oak.
I think we got the best coaches in district and probably in Texas, because they're honest with you and they're going to help you no matter what, no matter through anything, even when it's not baseball. Outside of baseball, they'll do anything for you. And when your coach has your back like that, it makes you want to play harder for them. This is an important year, and I think we're going to do special things, and we're still doing special things and to help us buy in. We started at 0-4 and we won 4 straight, big games. And I believe that we're going to make the playoffs and we're going to have a good run. And it just starts with the coaches not giving up on us. We're going 0-4 and lost some, games that we probably should have won, but, they didn't give up on us, and they're never going to give up on us. And that just helps everyone play better.
Well, Josh, kind of same question to you. What was Coach Johnson and this coaching staff, especially on the offensive side of the ball, meant to you in your career? And then what have they meant on and off the field?
They meant a lot to me. Better things, swing and life outside of school, and just like Trevor said, when you have coaches that have you more than just in baseball, it helps the connection and the chemistry way better for not only your relationship with the coach, but with the team and everybody. I think they've been doing a really good job of all of us together. After every game, he'd be like, you need to think, and he doesn't mean it just baseball wise. It's you're going through something after a practice. Anybody need anything? It's just great to see. And then when Coach Spurgeon, you're down, you need somebody to talk to. He's not only there for baseball, he's there for outside of life too. And like I said, it just makes it easier to play for somebody like that you can trust, and they trust you too.
Awesome. Well, Coach Spurgeon, give us the rundown on these 2 guys you brought with you. I know we got great things on the field, but it seemed like 2 pretty good young men off the field as well. Can you give us a little insight behind Josh and Trevor?
Yeah. I mean, you talked about the numbers part and on the field part, but I mean, off the field, Trevor is one of those guys that really holds his teammates accountable, especially when you talk about the pitching staff. And not in the way to being a bully, not in the way of being a boss, but hey, this is the right way to do things. And because of the foundation he's built with these guys and the trust they have in them, they're really receptive to it. And then even more so off the field, the guy can turn around and have a pretty good laugh with you, pretty knowledgeable in that department, but also handles his business in the grade department and intelligence-wise. I mean, if you have a conversation with him, I tell him all the time, I can have conversations with him that make me feel like I'm talking to someone my own age. He's just far beyond his years. So just a very intellectual kid. And then Josh, man, he's like a little bit of everything for us, man. Like, this guy can be, like I said, just like pro. Like, he can be joking with guys. He can be hard on guys in the right way. He can love guys. The main thing about him is he's pretty much a teammate for anyone when they need him. And I don't mean on the field only. I mean off the field. I mean, this guy, I would say everyone on the team can consistently call on, and I think that he'll answer that call. And he's another guy, just especially recently, that we've gotten to talk more. Another guy is just a long way beyond his years intellectually. And I'm kind of getting to know that side of him a little bit better, and it's been fun for me.
Awesome. Well, I know you guys got Joshua and you got Ennis this week. Is tomorrow night at home, or is that Friday?
Tomorrow night is Joshua, and then Friday is Ennis at home.
Okay. All right. Well, we wish you guys the best of luck. Those are two huge games, two teams ahead of you, but two teams that I know y'all are right there with, going to give them all you got. And so I appreciate y'all taking time out of your evening to come on here and talk with us. It means a lot, but hopefully we can have y'all on again talking about that playoff run once you solidify y'all's playoff spot. So the best of luck. And again, thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
We see the future in her. And as she grows, bonds are bigger. Lessons are learned. We plan for her future with those we trust. So when the day comes and she's ready to soar, she'll do it knowing there's always someone there. Pinnacle Bank, not just a bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.